Hey YouTube, my name is Orion and welcome to my channel. This is Night Shift Auto Lab, my garage based out of Connecticut where we specialize in 90s and early 2000s tuner culture cars. I've been dabbling in BMWs the whole time. When I was 16 years old I got my first E36. Had no idea how cool they were at the time. It was a 328 IS, it was black coupe, and it got me through high school, and I fucking loved it. I had no idea what it was going to snowball into, because then I got my first sedan that was manual, and then I got my first M3, and fast forward, I've had probably 100 E36s, and I've been parting them out, I've been building them, I've been working on them for people here and there. So welcome to the channel, and I hope you guys stay tuned to see some of the builds that we got going on here. I think you really like it. Alright guys, so some of the cars we're going to have on this channel. This is my E36, this is one of my daily drivers. It's a 325i, but it's got some goodies in it. It's got an S52, it's got the 420G 6-speed out of an E46 M3. It's got E36 M3 front and rear subframes complete. It's got the full M3 body kit. It's got the M3 Mulberry interior. This is probably one of my more favorite cars that I like to have and daily drive and use. It's got the 18-inch M parallels that are chrome. These came off a 7 Series that I bought a couple years back. And I think with the ride height and the stance that this car's got, it kind of is perfect with it. It's dirty. I haven't been driving it for probably a month now, because I've had the wagon, but this is one of my more favorite cars. It's pretty well sorted, and you guys should check it out a little bit. We got the Racing Dynamics strut bar. We got the front and the rear on there. It's an S52, as I said earlier. It's got the M50 intake manifold. It's got the Beamer World 3.5-inch elbow with the 3.5-inch MAF from a 540. It's got the Euro cover here. It's got the European washer fluid reservoir here, which is kind of cool. You don't see this too often, but this actually is where the fluid goes. It's got the E46 M3 oil filter housing with the external oil cooler, which is actually up here in the grills, so it's got proper airflow. You guys can probably see the oil dipstick up front, which is not normal. It's got an E46 M3 oil pan and oil pump on it as well. I put ARP head studs and an MLS head gasket on it in hopes to future turbo it or something like that. But actually I ended up getting a VF supercharger kit, which will be a whole separate video of installing that on this. It's going to be pretty sick. Another cool feature is it has the dome light in the hood, which actually you don't really see too often. And it actually functions. It's powered by this little switch right here. When you shut it, it turns off. When you open it, it turns on. I know that seems kind of lame, but if you know about these E36s, you never see that. So we'll look inside the car real quick. Everything has been converted to M3. It's got the gray Mulberry interior. It's got the black headliner, the A pillar, the B pillar. It's got everything else M3, the steering wheel, the shifter, the cluster, everything you can kind of see. But one of my favorite parts about the car is actually the sunshade that's in the back. This is kind of rare, you don't see this too often, but it's got the retractable rear sunshade that goes right into the rear deck here. You don't really see that too often, but that's kind of one of my favorite parts of this car. This is another car that I have. It's a 2011 328i. It's rear wheel drive, it's 6-speed, it's got black interior, it's got a custom molded wide body on it all around. The wide body's not in the best shape. I bought the car with the wide body on it, and over time it's kind of just been getting a little bit worse. There's little cracks here and there, but this car is actually awesome. We got 18 by 11.5 work wheels. I think these are work Bersaglios, and we got 18 by 12 works in the rear. The fitment is actually pretty good. I bought the car with coilovers on it, but since then I got a sponsorship from Royal Stance, which is kind of an older company, but they ended up giving me a really good deal on the air ride system, which it now has. It's got the Bag Riders V3. It's got the little like iPod controller for the up and down. This car is kind of a work in progress. It's really good daily driver, but it keeps giving me random issues, and mostly electrical, but again, we're gonna dive into this in another day. Moving on, we got this 1995 525i E34. I got this last year, and it's very stock. It's a 5-speed. It's got the M50 with the Vanos on it. Unfortunately, it's got the Getrag transmission, but that's all right. The only mods I've done to it so far is I've put BC coilovers on it, and I put the Style 65, which are E39 M5 wheels. And this thing's actually pretty close to where I want it to be, but it still needs a couple days of love, and it needs a paint correction. And I'll be showing you guys all that as we go along. M50 Vanos, really clean. It's all factory, everything runs great. And honestly, I cannot wait to drive this car once the weather gets nice out. Unfortunately right now it's December, so it's cold, so we're inside, it's build season, and we're just gonna be working on all this stuff so that when summer comes, pick the keys I want for each day of the week and we can go out for a cruise. Next up, we got my current daily driver. This is a new to me car. It's a 2004 BMW 325 Xi, all-wheel drive, automatic, stock suspension, really nice cruiser. I've been daily driving manual cars my whole life, and honestly, I'm at the age where I'm kind of getting sick of it. So being able to just kind of turnkey go wherever I want, this is actually an awesome daily driver. The wagon gives me all the versatility I need. It's got the ZHP bumper and wheels, and it's all around pretty clean. All right, so next up we got my S13. This is kind of my pride and joy. I've had this car since 2012, I think, and I bought it for 600 bucks originally, which is just crazy to think about because, in my opinion, these are kind of shitbox Nissans, and everyone else loves them. And I mean, I get it, but the prices these days are crazy. This is kind of a one-off. I've had it for a long time. I've did a little bit of work on it here and there, but it's kind of been a finished product, but then I ended up blowing up a couple engines, and how it goes with Nissans where you're swapping engines left and right. But basically it's a S13 240SX hatch with the stock KA24 DE engine with a turbo on it. It's got a Type X wing, it's got the Type X tail lights. This bash bar is here for the rear bumper because I have a full BM Sports kit, which is not on it right now. It's actually upstairs, but I don't like moving it around and putting it on the lift with the kit on it. I like to keep it all nice and stuff. I got 18 by 9.5 gram lights on it, and a dual caliper handbrake setup with the Beagle calipers. S14 seats, a Sparco steering wheel, and it's currently engineless, but I have the new engine sitting over there on the ground, and all I need to do is spend a weekend and put the engine back in it and hook it all up. I have everything I need. It really just comes down to time. Last car I have in the shop is my 95 240SX S14. I put a 2JZ in it not that long ago. I got an Aristo swap, and I actually ended up taking the stock motor out of this car and putting it in the S13 when my first engine blew up, but it actually ended up not lasting too long in there. So this kind of became a project simply because I needed to steal the engine out of it, and I had a JZ, and I said, you know what, we're just gonna put it right in. It fits great. It's pretty much at the point where I can drive it, but I have to mount the turbo. I got a brand new Garrett 3582R. I gotta mount it, I gotta make the whole downpipe and the exhaust, and then I have to get a custom drive shaft because I have a BMW ZF tranny up to this JZ, and I have to get that custom drive shaft. I bought the yokes, but that's next up. It's honestly not too much work that this thing needs before I'm able to drive it. But sticking with my roots, I decided to put BMW AC Schnitzer Type 3 wheels on this thing. I know a lot of the Nissan guys are probably going to hate on it, but I've been a BMW guy my whole life, and you know, this is part of that 90s tuner culture, so I've always had a soft spot for these cars. But I knew if I got this car, I had these wheels and I really wanted to put it on, and they actually fit pretty damn good. The front has an inch spacer. I think the rear has a 15 mil spacer, something small, nothing crazy. It's still a work in progress, but it's not going to need a whole lot before we're running and driving. I have a whole body kit for this thing too, but I want to keep it stock body for now because I like the way it looks, and after it's running and driving I might decide to go all hot boy and put the kit on and get it repainted. But it's sleek, it's stock body, it's a slick top too, so there's no sunroof to leak, which I like a lot. I got this off the original owner, and it's just kind of been a back burner project for a little while now because I got a lot of other stuff going on. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching the video. That's all we got time for today. This is actually only some of the stuff that we do here. I got a bunch more cars at home and cars outside that we're going to get into once we start, rolling out these videos. But if you stay tuned, you'll see more content. You'll see the builds. You'll see lots of drifting. You'll see all of my friends hanging out and having a good time. And yeah, that's it. Stay tuned. Thanks guys.